Hello there, this is Rowdy Ross with another one. This time on Rise with Rowdy, we got a 2003 Chevrolet Suburban 1500. We're going to go ahead and get into it. This truck in 2003 from Chevrolet had 285 horsepower, about 325 foot-pounds of torque. This model is the base model, so that means no bells and whistles, no sunroof, just kind of a plain Jane. So we're going to get into it. Let's take a look at the interior. Interior wise, we have tan cloth interior, which has been pretty clean. Did somewhat of a good detailed job on it myself, not tooting my own horn, but came out pretty lovely. Does have the owner's manual there, 2003. All in all, this is a good vehicle. It's got the front and rear heat and AC controls. This particular model doesn't have the digital readout. It's got the manual. Some people prefer that over the digital, but I'm happy about how it cleaned up very well, actually. It took me about a day to get on it and get the carpet clean and the seats clean. And it's got the rear heat and AC control there, and it's got the third row. See if we can get this up here. And it's got the third row there. Need to go back and hit that spot right there that I missed in the center there. But all in all, this is a good reliable vehicle, good work vehicle, good multi-purpose use vehicle. The one thing that when I go to sell these, I notice the biggest complaint that I get is from females and certain males too. So I guess from both parties, female and males, is that it's long, which is one of the reasons why I prefer to get a Tahoe or a Yukon, simply because it's shorter in length. But if you need the space or want the space, the Suburban or the Yukon XL is the way to go. This third row seat comes out, which gives you even more space. So this is another reason why some guys that work constructions or work on a job site, whatnot, they like it because you can store the tools in it and whatnot. I've sold a few of these to mobile mechanics, and they like to keep the tools in there as well. And you know, nothing like having that third row space, but it's got plenty of interior room in it. Plenty of interior room. And we got our victory lap here. We just came from getting our missions done, so we got that past the mission. So we're gonna go ahead and list this truck for sale today. This truck does have 4-wheel drive, which is another option that came with these as well. It comes in handy if you like to go off-roading or in bad weather. The 4-wheel drive really comes in handy. And again, this is a base model, so you've got no controls there on the steering wheel, just basically, again, plain Jane. Underneath the hood, this particular model, we have a 5.3 liter Vortec, and 5.3 usually stands for 5300, but they abbreviated to just call it the 5.3. In this particular model, you can get it with the 4.8, the 5.3, which this is, the 6.0, and I believe you can even get this with the 8.1, which is the big block. A lot of times, the engine will be right there on the air cover. So this one right here, it says 5.3 liters. So I'll let you know this engine in this truck is a 5.3. One of the deals with the 4.8, the 5.3, and the 6.0, if you look at them from the outside like this, they all look the same. So it's kind of important to know what you got before you get started. This one right here, we went ahead and replaced the battery, alternator, had some charging problems. Also replaced the evap canister to get the check engine light off, and I've been driving it ever since. No problems. Heat and AC works great. Now I'm going to take you guys for a ride along and let you guys see how this thing rides and shifts in the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. Let's go ahead and put the seatbelt on. So we got the truck started here. One of the common problems in the Suburban, Yukon, or basically any of the GM vehicles that's an SUV that has the 5.3, the 4.8, the 6.0 engine is the oil pressure gauge. You see that one's pegged at 80. I'll turn it off and so you can see it. You gotta change the oil on this too. So we're gonna do an oil change too before I list it. So this truck's got 218,000 miles on it, and you can see the oil gauge is pegged at 80, and that's because it needs an oil pressure sensor, which I have for it as well. So I'll knock that out as the time of the oil change. But that's one of the common problems. So if you see that and you're test driving something like that and you notice the gauge is pegged at 80, it just needs that oil pressure sensor. It's about $40 shipped to your house from Amazon or eBay. So it's not too terribly expensive. It is kind of a pain to put on because it's at the back of the engine. So some people are able to get to it without having to remove the intake. If you're one of those folks that has to remove the intake to put it on, I would recommend you also go ahead and replace the knock sensors and the wiring harness to the knock sensor, since those are also problem areas as far as cause for a check engine light. So we're gonna go ahead and drive this thing. Let you take a quick gander at it here. And again, this is nothing special. This is basically to get you back and forth to work, haul the kids around, haul your buddies around. It's a good spot. It's a good spot to, you know, handle some business. So also really good for work, considering how much space it's got. And it's very, very comfortable. So you got plenty of room in it as well. So it seats adults pretty comfortably. Now as far as power goes, it does have, you know, ample power to get you in and out of traffic. Shifts no problem. But it's not going to win no speed races by any far unless you do something to it, put a cam or turbo or something on it. But again, this is a base, so this is just simply going to get you to and from work, drop the kids off, A to B, go on trips. This will be a good vehicle on that. Now I will say the cloth seats, I will say it will probably come in handy during the spring and summertime, definitely in the South, because you don't have to worry about burning your butt or burning your thighs when you get in and out of it. As far as that, and also you don't really have to worry about the seats cracking. A lot of times I see these seats on the driver's side and the passenger side, they wear out on the sides there, you know, when your thigh gets in and out of the vehicle. With the cloth, you really don't see that too much. You still see it, but not as much. And also the cloth is a little bit easier to clean, in my opinion, but you know, to each his own. All in all, driving the truck is a good drive. You don't have any complaints about it, but again, it's just the base. If you're one of those guys that wants all the bells and whistles and the luxury, I would recommend going with the Z71 package from Chevrolet. That you get the leather seats, you get the four-wheel drive, you get the nicer aftermarket wheels. A lot of them come with the sunroof, but this particular model, you don't have to worry about the sunroof because it does not have it, and that's one less thing that can go wrong as far as it not working or leaking into the cab. So it's one less thing you got to worry about. So you got to keep that in mind. But all in all, I would definitely recommend the Chevrolet Suburban, the base model anyway. I would definitely recommend it simply because of cost. You can usually pick up one of these for under $5,000 pretty easily, and they last a really long time. Parts are easy to get for them. It's easy to maintain. A lot of folks have them, so you know you can get them at the parts at the junkyard. You can get them new. A lot of aftermarket stuff you can do to it as well. Since this is four-wheel drive, you can lift it to the sky. You can put different wheels and tires on it. Kind of make it your own, updated from the base. On a point scale, since this is a base, it does have the 5.3 engine in it. It does have the rear heat and AC. The paint on this is good. Interior on it's good. We got the current emissions on it. miles on it. I would have to give this one a solid, we'll go solid 7. We'll go with the solid 7 on this, just simply because it's a base. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, nothing to brag about. With the solid 7 being my score, I would definitely recommend the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban if you're in the neighborhood to buy, especially since you can probably pick one of these up with decent miles for under 5,000. It's easy to maintain. Parts are very, very affordable. Aftermarket parts are very, very out there as far as if you want to lift it, different things you want to do to it. It's kind of an endless deal. So I would definitely recommend the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. That wraps this episode of Rides with Rowdy. Thanks for riding with me.